and welcome back to my channel. My name is Soph and I asked over on my Instagram for questions you would like me to answer in a Q&A. So here they are. So the first question was, how many hours of work should you do during a school day and then during holidays? So a school day, I would say no more than 8, and that includes your lessons at school. In holidays, if you've got exams coming up, then I would extend that to no more than 8, although really stressing the no more than. So maybe lower it more to like 7, given that it is a holiday. If it's a holiday without exams, then I would just do whatever you've been sat by your teachers. I don't think there's much need to do anything more than that unless you're particularly behind. If you could go back to year 12, what would you do differently? Honestly, I loved sixth form and I don't really have any regrets or anything I wish I'd done differently. I'm pretty happy with how things went. Having said that, going back to year 10 or 11, I definitely have some things that I wish I'd done differently. So I definitely wouldn't have worked as hard, as it really wasn't necessary for GCSEs. But I feel like I learned from this, and then in year 12 I had a much better work-life balance. So hopefully that kind of answers your question. Is Cambridge what you expected? Things have been strange with COVID, but generally yes, it has been what I expected. Initially I had a lot more freedom than I'd expected. But then I did have to isolate, and then the second lockdown came in, so this did then kind of change, and there were a lot of restrictions on what we could do. I mean, putting COVID aside, I thought people would be a bit more obsessed with their subject, and I thought they'd want to talk about it all the time, but actually that hasn't really been the case. People have been pretty normal on the whole. What were your grades like in year 12? I wasn't sure whether this was like during like end of unit tests or whether this was like predicted grades, so I'm kind of gonna answer both. So I took AS levels, even though they don't count for anything. That was just what my school decided to do. So in my AS mocks, which were the 2018 papers, and we sat them in February, I got 4 A's. And then in my actual AS levels, I got 4 high A's, so if the A star did exist. In tests, I had a few that were quite low, but generally they weren't too bad. Percentage-wise, it was certainly lower than at GCSE, but then it is A level, and like grade boundaries are generally a lot lower, so it was still usually around the A to A star mark, although not always. The next question is, why don't you show your face in videos? I'm camera shy and I don't really want to be recognised, although a few people at uni have worked out who I am, so that didn't really work out. Also, having text on the screen improves accessibility, as the auto-generated captions aren't always very accurate, and also you can always screenshot the screen as like a reminder of key points. And yeah, I do get messages from people saying that they do find it really helpful, so I suppose it kind of helps two things at once. Obviously it's something I have thought about. Maybe in the future I would show my face. I have had quite a few requests for vlogs, which would be a lot harder if I didn't show my face, but I'm not sure. Which module do you like the most so far? Definitely physics, which is what I'm intending on taking next year, and also what I intended when I applied. I have kept an open mind, as I know a lot of people do change, particularly from physics to chemistry, but I'm still pretty certain that I want to do physics. How did you find time to do supercurriculars alongside A-levels? I did quite a lot during summers, so things like work experience or summer schools, so that didn't really interfere with my A-levels at all. I'd also often watch a documentary or something before bed, which is something that I've been doing for quite a few years, so by the time it came to applying, I had a bank of quite a lot of things that I'd watched, and an hour before bed isn't really time that I missed. Otherwise, it was mostly just kind of an hour here or there to like watch a lecture or something. And if ever I was bored, I would kind of just like go on Isaac Physics or something. So personally, I didn't find it too difficult to fit in. Is it more important to know lots of physics outside the A-level syllabus or to be good at problem solving? You definitely need to know the A-level syllabus, and possibly a few little extra things are nice, but other than that, I definitely say problem solving is really important. Are you college married? Yes, I have a college husband. How many college siblings do you have? I have 2 sisters and a brother, which is actually quite a big family. Usually if you have 2 parents, there'll be 2 siblings, it'll be you and someone else. And then one parent will study one subject, one sibling will study the same subject, and then the other parent will study a different subject, and then the sibling will study the same subject, if that makes sense. But my mum is a Viznatsky and my dad studies history and politics, and me and all of my siblings are all Viznatskys, so yeah. How to not get carried away with planning revision rather than actually doing it? A question I get quite a lot. I keep my plans very basic, so just kind of lists of things I need to do and kind of like in an already prioritised order, so things like I really must do, down to things that like are quite useful, but like if I don't do them it's not the end of the world, and basically I just work my way down it. I'm also planning a more detailed video on how I plan my revision and everything, so definitely stay tuned for that if you want to know more. Have your future plans changed since starting Cambridge? No, not really. I still want to do research in physics. What extracurriculars are you doing at uni? So, in Michaelmas I did college choir and coxing, although those were cancelled about halfway through. The term coming, I have auditioned for a play, which I got a part in, so I've got a bit of theatre stuff. In theory, if we're allowed, then college choir and coxing and everything will restart, although I'm not too sure about that at the moment. I'm also considering restarting ballet, although that's just something that I'm thinking about at the moment. And then I also signed up to like all of the physics, maths, science societies, although there haven't been any in-person events, just online lectures so far. So yeah, those are all the questions, well, most of the questions. Thank you for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe for more videos.